Very good morning to everybody. Welcome and thank you for joining us today. This is Waking Up to Win with myself, Stuart, and I've got a very special guest. It's a guest that has a product that pretty much everybody uses. And it's something that in my real estate career, without it, I think I would be dead in the water. I wouldn't be able to give all of those property reports through to my clients. What am I talking about? Well, if you walk down a beachfront, you're going to see a lighthouse. No, it's not a lighthouse, but there could be a stone at the bottom of the lighthouse. Put those two together. What have we got? We've got Lightstone. Esteani, very good morning to you. How are you doing today?
Hi, Stuart. Thanks. Always great. It's the start of the new year, fresh ideas, fresh opportunities. So super excited, especially for what the year is gonna bring us.
Absolutely. And I think 2024 is definitely going to be that cycle of a year that's going to have the trends that goes up. Now, why do I know this bit of information? Well, you guys actually create reports and trends, and you can see what things do over the past, I don't know how many years of data you've actually stored, but it's from that data that gives us that advice. So let's just introduce the product, Lightstone. What is Lightstone?
Awesome. So, look, Lightstone's been founded, I think, approximately 20 years ago, where the company started off looking at valuation models specifically for the banks. So that's actually where it all started. So working with the deeds information, deeds going back from, I think, 1994. So we also see ourselves basically as historians of the deeds data. So we keep it on a monthly basis, we keep it up to date, which really then helps us to be able to do analyses and trends and all of those things from a long period of time. That's where the product actually started. So valuation models were built specifically for the banks, and then it evolved into a product for our real estate clients. So looking at reports that provide specific pieces of information that is necessary at a specific point in time. So looking at a property report, looking at a suburb report or town report, so different levels of information, and each one of these gives you insights into that specific demographic. So whether it be a town, whether it be a suburb, or whether it be a property. And then, obviously the industry uses this as a standard as well, which then helps the industry to understand everyone works with the same data. And it just enhances the experience and obviously the knowledge of the real estate agents in the industry at the moment. So, and I mean, at the end of the day, Lightstone's biggest aim is to make sure that you as a real estate agent can provide the best service to your clients. And that's our main aim and goal at all times. And I think that's one of our values as well, is helping people make informed decisions. And that's what data does. It provides you the ability to make an informed decision.
Absolutely. And two little key points that actually came out here, and you mentioned that word data. Data, in fact, is really the currency of the future. If you don't have any data, you're actually going to be, and I'm saying inverted commas, kind of poor. So data is absolutely crucial. And the second part that is really powerful, and this is something that I got to experience, especially as real estate agents, when we're going out to properties and clients getting bonds, and next minute we have those wonderful property valuators coming through that have been appointed by the banks to come out and make sure that they can find value in the actual property. And one thing that I got to realize, guess what they use? Lightstone. When I spoke to the banks, guess what they use? Lightstone. So definitely having all of that, talking the same language, actually gives us as real estate agents that level of credibility in going forward. Now, we've obviously got this tool, and most of the agents that are on this call and agents that will be watching the session afterwards have used or they know about Lightstone. But just give us a little bit of insight. How does Lightstone actually help the agent? How do you actually get all that information that you can then put over to the agents?
Awesome. All right. So I think the first point where any agent should start off with is validating the information. And that's sort of where your property report is crucial. So you get a call from a prospective owner or tenant, or buyer or seller, doesn't matter. You want to make sure that you're actually speaking to the right person, that they do actually own that property, and that the property description and information is correct. So that's the starting point. So making sure you use your property report for that specific and very purpose. The next thing then is to look at the property report, look at the property itself. So what is sold in the area? What is the value or the comparable value of that specific property? Now, in our worlds, we provide the real estate agent with 3 opportunities to actually get to a point where they can accurately guide the seller or even the buyer in terms of the value of a property. First of all, your comparable sales table within the property report, where you as the property professional can actually adjust and alter the comparable sales, because you are the professional, you are the expert in that area, and you know which properties are most comparable to the one that you use or that you're working with, your subject property. And you can adjust the comparable sales, making sure that what you then represent back to your seller is most accurate. Second to that, we provide the EVM model, which is the estate agent valuation model, which is also based off of our artificial intelligence valuation model. And it gives you, again, as the estate agent or the property professional, a range of values within what your or subject property would fall into. Again, you as the value or the subject matter expert can then determine where in that range the property will fall, and that can be based of any alterations that the homeowners may be made on the property itself, or if the property's condition is not really great at that specific moment in time, or it is exceptional. So you can then determine in what area of the range the value will fall. And then also our valuation model, which is the model that are actually, as we've mentioned in the beginning, used by the bank. So using artificial intelligence into our algorithms, making sure that using data again and big data, we get to a model that predicts the value of that property as accurately as possible. So, I think that is the crucial elements in terms of working with a specific property. But then, as we all know, in real estate, there's a lot of information that you need. So you need to analyze your suburbs. So working with your suburb report, working with your town report, you can actually guide your buyers and sellers, understanding the landscape, understanding what's happening in a specific area where they want to either purchase or sell from. And then also looking at further analysis into your sectional titles and estates, because we all know that those are a little bit different than your freestanding homes within a normal suburb. So understanding, as an example, in a specific sectional title, what are the ownership profile looking like? So when are owners actually buying into or buying or selling out of a sectional scheme? So understanding how long they stay in that scheme, understanding the age of ownership within a specific scheme or estate. And that can even be taken up to your suburb levels. So again, demographic information, understanding your landscape, understanding the farming area that you specifically work into. And then also, I think one of the aspects that's very topical for real estate is prospecting. So getting new properties, getting new buyers, getting new sellers. So again, using your transfers report, using your suburb report, using your complexes in a suburb, using owners in a complex, owners in a estate. There's a lot of reports that we provide for you to be able to do prospecting and find new properties that are most likely to be going on sale. So yeah, I think there's various different elements that the Lightstone system assists estate agents throughout the journey of selling or renting out, for that matter.
No, fantastic. And that's such a vital part of our business is being able to have all of that data, all of those stats, and with all these different tools at our disposal, allows us to actually give the right information through to our clients. Now, when I've done training sessions with a number of our agents and they're actually using Lightstone, and typically what comes, and there's a couple of questions that come through to me, and I want to add these questions in now because it's quite pertinent into we're creating this data, we're giving it through to the actual clients of ours. Where does the data actually come from? And how often is it updated for accuracy?
Great question. So the base of our data is directly from the deeds. So we work on deeds data. And again, because we believe that that is most accurate. So if you think around working on offers or working on, anything other than a formally registered record, we believe that the deeds are the most accurate and we only work with deeds data. So that is the base of our data. And we receive weekly updates from the deeds office. So on a weekly basis, we actually update all the transfers that goes through. And then on a monthly basis, we do a bulk update again because there will be properties that the deeds office doesn't necessarily process or capture in a specific week. So yes, deeds data updated weekly, full update on a monthly basis. But then there's also multiple various other data sources. So Stats SA for all our demographic data. And as you know, I think the census data are done once every 10 years. So we receive or we work on the initial data set, which I think has been published or will be published as an example this year. And then we work with the data, or our data scientist works with that data, updates it on an annual basis up until the next census has been done. And then we work with statistical data in terms of, let's say, your suburb demographics or suburb boundaries. These are where we as a company do geographical information data updates on a monthly basis. So we will go and demarcate any changes to any suburbs or new estates that's been formed or new towns that's been established. And we do that spatial or those spatial updates on a monthly basis. So there's various data sets and all of those are being updated at interval or different intervals within the month, week, month, or year.
No, fantastic. And on the back of that, I have had agents coming through to me and actually clients as well and saying, we know it's accurate, but is there any chance of inaccuracies? Because we are working with data. If in a case where there is data that does come through incorrectly, is it automatically corrected or is it something that has to be noted in order for it to be corrected?
Awesome question again. So there's two sides to this. The one is, as I've mentioned, when we look at deeds data, we get the updates from the deeds office. And people might think that, you get the data, you import it into the system, all is great. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. So data received are what we call raw data. And we have a full team of data specialists and scientists that actually has to work through the deeds data to clean it up. Now, cleaning it up means the deeds office itself makes mistakes. So they would sometimes miss a 0 or they would miss a 1, which makes in some instances a great difference. A 0 to a purchase price really does make a difference. So there's many mistakes, let's call it mistakes, that comes through from the deeds office that we are able to identify. We then fix those before we publish on our system. But there are those that the deeds office do send through, and we wouldn't know that it's a mistake unless we are being made aware of that by somebody that are informed. So let's say the owner. So those mistakes do come through from the deeds office, unfortunately, and we wouldn't know, as I've just mentioned, until we have been informed. So as an example, let's say there's or only one owner on the deed. According to us, but the owner that purchased the property actually knows that there should be 2. We wouldn't know that it should be 2 unless they let us know. So we really, really also rely quite heavily on our estate agents to let us know, if there's any discrepancy on the data, specifically deeds data, with the relevant proof. So as an example, the owner can then show us the deed, the title deed, that they've actually purchased property in both names. We can then query with the deeds office, they fix it, and we fix it on our side as well. So there's those two aspects, and it's generally where the issues may lie. And then also some of the records, unfortunately, does not get sent through to us. So you can imagine with 8,000 or 8 million properties in South Africa, it does sometimes happen that the deeds office miss one or two, not sending it through to us. And again, as soon as our clients makes us aware, we query with the deeds office and we are able to do the update or correction on our side as well.
No, fantastic. Having that relevant and accurate data is absolutely imperative. So, and I know I'm going to put you on the spot with this particular question as a percentage.
Yes.
How accurate to a percentage is Lightstone? And the reason why I'm asking this is because I want our agents, when they're speaking to their buyers and their sellers, to say the data that we're giving to you is X% accurate. What would you, and I know I'm putting you on the spot, what percentage of accuracy would you say the data that you're producing through to the real estate agents are?
Sure, difficult question to answer, but if I think about the volumes of data coming through on a monthly basis, so thinking about, in the, let's say, better years, we would work through about 30,000 transfers per month. So just thinking about the volumes of transfers coming through and the number of queries we get, I would say roughly about 97, 98% accurate. So yeah, thinking about the volumes, that would be what I would say, 90, 97, 98% accurate.
No, perfect. Well,
Definitely.
there's a percentage that we can actually start to work on. And the reason why it's not at 100% is because we do have humans and we
Yes.
do have systems that are connecting and talking to each other. And again, who runs those? Well, it's humans. So if we were working at 100%, well, we'd be robots, but we're not robots. So it's great to have that particular as a question there. Right. So I actually want to take this a bit further, and we're going to have a Q&A session towards the end of this particular session where I'll open up. I want to find out, why should an agent, because there are competitive products out there, why should an agent be using Lightstone as their primary tool to get this data?
Awesome. So look, as you've mentioned, there's other products as well. We believe definitely that our product is obviously the best because we've got the data back from 20 years ago, or the system up and running from 20 years ago. So definitely in terms of consistency and accuracy, that's our main aim. So in Lightstone, we've got about Lightstone Property and Auto, about 400 employees. So we make sure that we've got the necessary teams that are actually employed to look at all those aspects specifically around data accuracy, and also because we see ourselves as historians of deeds data in South Africa. So for us, it's the most important aspect is data accuracy, and we believe, based on feedback from various industry players, that they have tried and tested others, but the data accuracy in Lightstone is definitely the best. And then also product involvement. So, if I look at what other providers provide, I think Lightstone again is superior in terms of the products that we provide, which actually then helps our estate agents. And cost, yes, the best aren't always the cheapest, but within the industry, we've also found that our pricing are very much competitive with whatever is provided out there. And yeah, so I think that for me, those three aspects is most important. We've got the best data sets, most accurate and comparative in pricing. So and yeah, we love the industry. It's what we do. It's our main focus and aim every day is to make sure that we serve the industry, to make sure that estate agents in the fields are well equipped, well informed, and are able to be subject matter experts where they are operating.
No, perfect. So we're actually talking about this movement on Lightstone. Most of us, especially within the EXP platform, we've been using the first version. And it's something that we've all been looking at, but we have been hearing about this version 2. Now, I know that we've got actual training courses that Lightstone is now offering to make sure that everybody's up to scratch. So let's talk about the new version that's been released. I know it was released last year, and I've personally attended a couple of the seminars to get an insight, and really excited about the new version. So what are the upgrades? What are the differences from what was version 1 to version 2? What are the changes that have actually taken place? Let's talk about that.
Awesome. So I think just to put the upgrade in perspective, it's also always good to understand why are we doing that. So people would come to us and say, why change something that wasn't broken? But the reality is that technology is evolving. So yes, we can keep the existing system, which is 20 years old, or we can adjust and adapt to new technology and bring new features. So I always use the example, if you think about cellular telephones. So the Nokia, we all had a Nokia 3210, and the Nokia 3210 probably still works if you have one and you're able to make a call. But you will not be able to do have WhatsApp. You'll not be able to do any smart features on that phone, and that's technology. So we have come to a point where we said, look, we have to adjust the new technology and architecture that is available to the industry or to the world, and therefore we decided to embark on this journey of doing Lightstone version 2. Now, as technology change, certain features becomes better, but certain features will become redundant because it's replaced with new opportunities or new options. And that's what we've done. So we've recreated Toolkit. According to us, it looks vibrant and clean. So we also decided, look, a new look and feel will be great. So we've developed a new system in terms of look and feel. We tried to also keep the flow of products the same that we had in version 1 because people are used to that. But the features and functionalities has been enhanced. So one of those will be our search function. So in version 1, you could only search using in inputting certain criteria into a form, let's call it a form, and a result would be returned. In version 2, we've brought in the ability for you to do a dynamic search, almost like what you would search in Google. So as you start typing, the results are being provided, and you can select the option that you were actually looking for, without taking away the ability to do structured searching. So we've just added the ability to do dynamic searching, which really is encouraged by many of our users. They love that opportunity. But those that love putting certain search criteria can still do it in version 2. And then in version 2, we also have enhanced features in terms of the My Area functionality. Now, we believe that each estate agent are focusing on a specific area of operation. In our worlds, or in the real estate world, often referred to as sort of your farming area. So many of our features are being built specifically around your farming area. So you can select your area, and we provide you with information around that specific area of operation. And then in the new system, we also will be able to provide you what we call sort of leads that are based on our propensity to sell model. So the propensity to sell model is a model that we've established looking at, again, multiple data sources that says if a property is this, an owner is that, and whatever sources of information we use combined together, we give you a prospect of that specific property may become available onto the market very soon. So that's our propensity to sell model. And in the version 2, we actually have a product that now gives you the ability to get those leads, which is a new feature that we've launched or is available. So very much focused on the My Area functionality. And then just, at the end of the day, making sure that it is also available on mobile. So version 1, we had a mobile app but only certain features and functionalities was available. Version 2, we want to make sure that it is mobile ready, or what we call mobile ready, where you can use it in any device, and also on the road, because that is super important for our estate agents. So yeah, I think that sums it up nicely to say, out with the old in terms of technology, in with the new, and hoping that in the next year or two, we'll be able to add various features, such as third-party service providers. So, as an example, if you need to get a external property inspection report, you can actually request that through the system. So, being able to link additional services onto our platform, and you can then use that through your Lightstone subscription.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So this is all about taking technology from what it was to where it's going to. It's going into the future. It means that Lightstone is moving with the times and they're not getting left behind. We do see this with a lot of large companies, that it's quite challenging to make those changes. So version 2 is sleek, it's mean, it's got new features that's going to actually help the agents. So Esteani, I want to thank you so much. Any final thoughts or comments from yourself?
No, look, I think we are super blessed to have yet another year, and we look forward to supporting you guys through this year, whether it be on V1, V2, doesn't matter. For us, it's important that you do your sales as much as possible, and please reach out if there's anything that we can help you with. And once again, thank you for your support as a very valued customer of ours.
Absolutely. Thank you again for your time, Esteani. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on this particular session. And my final thought for today. So remember, the future of your real estate, it starts right now. I'm wishing you all a fantastic day further. Thank you so much, guys. Cheers for now.